before we
Yeah.
talk about Joe Biden?
Well, I mean, I think that for me, being a Democrat, especially where I live in South Carolina, it's always been the party of access to quality care. It's always been the party of attempting to assure some level of economic mobility. But even more importantly, it's always been the party on the side of ensuring people had their God-given rights. You know, it's always been on the side of civil rights. It's always been on the side of gay rights. It's always been at the forefront of these civil issues. And so it's a very easy choice for me. I am not someone, though, who goes without challenging the Democratic Party. In fact, one of the things that I hate most, and, you know, people try to put this label on Republicans, but it is a Republican, it's a Democratic, and it's a Democratic socialist ideal that drives me insane because it doesn't help people of color, is you cannot address race-specific problems in this country with race-neutral policy. There is no such thing as lifting everyone up, you know, lifting all rising tide lifts all boats. That doesn't do anything. And so my progressive friends who were further to the left of me ascribe to this notion. Many of my conservative friends ascribe to this notion. And just as a person of color who sits here kind of like, what are we doing policy-wise? The best example is this. PPP. We know where all the people are dying, right? All the Black folk are dying in this country from coronavirus and COVID-19. Communities are being ravaged. Small businesses are going under. Black women, as Tara knows, who small businesses are growing at the fastest rate in the entire country? Black women. So we have PPP, right? And we just throw funds out there to anybody. Who gets it? All the white boys get it. Why do all the white boys get it? Because they all get it. Because they have these natural banking relationships. Because they have, you know, they have access to these resources. You know, you have many Black folk who are unbanked, who don't have the access to capital, and it's always been that way. So instead of diverting direct funds to these areas that need it with a race-specific solution, we just threw out a few $100 billion and said, this rising tide is going to lift our boats. But what you saw was immigrants, Native Americans, and Black folk were still left out, as they always are. And so I think that that is a sin of all three of our varying perspectives up here. And I think that that's a problem in our perspective. And it drives me crazy when my Democrats do it, because even Black Democrats do it. And it's obscene.